Welcome to Virtual First Dates.
Well, thank you. And thanks, AD, for taking out the time to interview me today.
Not a problem. Now, the thing is, we always see you on this side of the table, so to speak, interviewing the guests. Now we want to take some time and get to know who you are. So tell us who.
All right. Well, I am V. Bailey, the creator and host of Virtual First Dates. My background is in human resources, so I've always been in recruiting. That's a big piece of HR. And so I'm still doing the recruiting. I'm just now a love recruiter, I would call it.
Nice. I like it. Okay, so right now we're basically doing everything virtual. That's just the world, the time in which we're in. So what is Virtual First Dates? Tell us a little bit about what you've created. I know we've worked together in a bunch of different roles, but over the course of the years, your career is going in a different way. And we're here to talk about one of those new things you're creating now. So what is Virtual First Dates?
Well, so Virtual First Dates is an online dating show and experiment. And basically the participants are screened, pre-screened. They go through it's not that, I wouldn't say it's a difficult one, but, they go through a screening process to kind of tap into a little bit about who they are and get some of their background, because there's a certain type, of person we want on the show. And that is a person to find someone and have a new experience, and if that leads to Mr. or Mrs. Right, that's what we're hoping for, but at the very least a connection or friendship. And so, so they go through a process, a pre-screening process, and with the hopes or potential for them to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right. And they have a max of 3 virtual dates that they go on, and then interview with me following their date.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Come up with an idea. Were you always Cupid and you're like, yo, I have a knack for this? How did you come up with the idea of Virtual First Date?
Well, yes. Yes to that. I've been Cupid since I was probably in elementary school, hooking people up. And actually, one of the first people, the first 2 people I hooked up, they got together in junior high and stayed together all the way through high school.
Wow.
And so they only broke up because one of the guy, his parents moved away, and so they broke up. So maybe who knows? They may have found their way back to each other. But that's pretty good,
That's a long ride.
So, I am a bit of the female Cupid, and like I said before, with my background in human resources, it is a passion of mine as well, is to connect people and to network, and so I naturally do that, and a bit of a people person, and so I get build relationships with folks, and they tell me their deep, dark secrets, and I am a lover of love, and so it was kind of natural for me to kind of fall into that. But how I started Virtual First Dates is it was in the making since November 2019. Originally, it was going to be a podcast, and so I was thinking, okay, this is good, but I feel like I need to tweak it some, add something else, to it. And so as the months, progressed, and I was kind of getting feedback to see who, would be willing to do it, because then it was just going to be purely for entertainment purposes. But January came around, and there was, some kind of, whispering of some, things that were getting ready to take off as far as with the whole pandemic. And February, more conversation about us being shut down. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was kind of rushing to get back into the dating scene and go on the online dates, so she can go on an actual physical date, and worried about not being able to make those connections. And so I'm just like, well, maybe you don't have to rush this, project that I'm working on. I am now set on making it a dating show. And so then I kind of got everything rolling and had our first day in March of this year, 2020. And we're 8 in so far. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. And another reason, of course, is because we're moving towards a lot of online dating. We were already doing it, but now obviously the numbers have gone up. And so before I got this started, the first episode, I asked the question, had a poll of about going on dates, and dating people online. And people had their things to say, the pros and the cons, but the con that keeps will keep coming up is just the reservation of what if this person is not who they say they are, personality wise, or if it's a catfish physically. Where do you go on your first date? How much money should you spend? Should it be a coffee date? Should it be a dinner date? What's the time of day? All these different things that go, through your mind. And then, you add the social distancing on top of that. And so virtual first date, alleviates that, issue, because you're able to go on the date in the comfort of your own home. Like me, like where I'm at right now, I could be on a date right now. And so, people are able to do that and go on, a date in the comfort of their own home or wherever it is they feel, safe, most comfortable, and, get to know each other within that 45 minutes to 50 minutes is usually how long the dates typically go. And so, yeah. And so I feel like it's a bit of a precaution / pre-date, so you can, kind of get to know that person a little bit more, get more comfortable with them before actually meeting in person. And so who knows with the way things are going, that this may be the way for everyone. So.
A lot of problems with dating. Like, you don't know if you want to, what if you're stuck at a date and you're at dinner and it's 2 hours in and you guys don't have chemistry? Like, that's awkward, right? So 5 minutes eliminates that. It takes some of the pressure off, right? Like, you have the people in the comments supporting you. So it's good. It's an excellent idea. So when people are watching it, what do you hope they take away from the show?
Well, with the viewers, so with my participants as well as the virtual first dates community, what I'm hoping that they take away from it is, well, first having a new experience, because a lot of people who have been on there, they're, I've never done anything like this before. Actually, all of the people who have been on there, have said that, because, we weren't really doing, things like this, before. Now you're seeing it a lot more, but still it's not anything like what we're doing, because we're doing the dates live. And so with that piece, it adds this, interaction, element to it, where you have the support. It's kind of like having your friend in your ear saying, hey, say this, or, ask him about this or ask her about this. And so that's kind of nice. It's a little, scary at first, but I think that, once you do it, you feel kind of comfortable, like, yay, where are my people? Where's my community? And so a new experience, also from that experience, gaining some wisdom that they can take with them and apply it, to their life, to their, future dating experiences. And basically, that opening them up, making them have more of an open mind to try something new, because maybe they were like, oh, I never tried anything like this before. But because they tried, this virtual date, then they're like, well, maybe I'm open to trying some other new things. And that may change the whole course of, their life, their future. And so that, and also just strengthening the desire for more healthier and successful relationships. So also to add is that not only, is it dates that happen on the show, but we also bring on therapists. And so we'll bring on different therapists, trauma therapists, and, it's kind of an ongoing process, and looking to bring in, sex therapists at some point, so that we can have some conversations about that. All the things that affect dating, our relationships, I want to bring on an expert so that we can have conversations about that. And so it can get to the point where people feel more comfortable with getting that help, because in our community, in our communities, Black and brown, we're not just rushing to go get help or to make different adjustments because it's the stereotypes against that of it being weak or anything like that, which it's not. We need it. We're human. We can't always just be on all the time. And a lot of times, we have past trauma, which I like to say baggage, because, people seem to be more comfortable with that word and not trauma. And so, but there's past trauma, from your childhood or from relationships in your past. And so that's another piece of it. Where I'm bringing on, therapists and different specialists so that we can have those conversations, and the participants as well as the virtual first dates community have that opportunity to learn something new and apply it. So from learning from the daters or learning from the specialists and just taking that and applying it to their lives. So
no, awesome. I think bringing on the therapists and the professionals is going to be so valuable, because I watch all, I pretty much watch them all, and people out here who are romantically broken, who are just continuing to break other people romantically, right? So bringing really help you get to the root of some of these and find solutions for them is super valuable. Something that not a lot of people are doing, not a lot of people take seriously, and it really is inspiring that you're doing that. So I appreciate that. So I actually had the opportunity of doing one of the dates with you, actually two of the dates, and a dater on your show. So for anybody who's interested, how do they get involved? How do they apply? How do they know? How do they get information about participating in the dates?
So if you would like to be a participant, you would need to you can follow Virtual First Dates on Instagram, because that's where the show takes place. That's the platform that we use. And so Virtual First Dates, and you can direct message me there, or send me an email at virtualfirstdates at gmail.com. And so that's how you would go about participating as one of the daters. And if you want to just be a part of the community, you want to follow all three of the pages, which is the men's profile, which is MENV1D, and the women's profile, which is WOMEN V1D, and then of course at Virtual First Dates. I always put at because it's the handle when I'm sending it out. But you want to follow at Virtual First Dates, of course, because all of the updates I'll post there. New bachelors, bachelorettes, I post their profiles on there, so you can see the up and coming dates as well as the participants that we have on there. Just in case you have some interest, I get some little side messages every once in a while, like who is this, and how I want to talk to this person. I'm like, would you like to come on the show and go on a date? and so it's kind of fun, and sometimes that's enough to inspire someone to actually do something different, because they're like, this person completely seems like someone that I would really just mesh with and connect with. And so it's super cool and super exciting. But yes, you would just contact us at Virtual First Dates on Instagram, or send an email to virtualfirstdates@gmail.com. And then I'll make sure that under everywhere that I post the video, that I'll put that information below.
Excellent. So a couple of things that I think that you're doing that I think is just really awesome. Aside from just being an entertaining experience to watch, it's going to help the way that people date, right? So there's an educational aspect too. Like I watch all these dating shows, and I watch the way people date. I'm like, this is truly problematic. Like, doing this, and you may not even always know that you're doing it. So it really will kind of teach you some of the things that you do. It helps you really hone in what your deal breakers are. The bringing in therapist is going to game change. A really awesome thing. Now, you're usually on this side of the interview process. How does it feel to be on that side and be answering the questions versus asking?
Well, I mean, it's a little different, but I mean, I kind of like it because it's, more structure. For me, I'm kind of like, creative. So I'm just like, ideas. And, sometimes I need someone to kind of like, hold it in, and keep me on track. And so that's what this does for me. But it was really important for me to do this because I wanted, people to understand and know what Virtual First Dates is all about, and the passion behind it. For me, I'm really passionate about repairing Black families, and just creating more opportunities and platforms for us. And I love, and I know there's so many of us that are out there that want to be, want to find, their soulmate, or their life partner. And I just feel like this is my way of contributing, to help, repair some of that, and, bringing in the therapists, and, giving people the confidence to know that they can have, happiness and have healthy relationships as well. They just have to let, a lot of that stuff go, and just, move forward, in a positive space and positive mind. And then, creating this community. So there are people to support you. And I love my Virtual First Dates community. They're awesome. They're great. All the people who've been on as participants, and then, the other people who are just, they're following, and they're, part of our community. They're very supportive to each other, and just, kind, and they see each other and their familiar name and face. They're like, hey, what's going on? Daisy, my mom, she gets in there and they're like, hey, Miss Jeannie. And she's always, giving the compliments.
Yeah, always has good advice. I remember.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I appreciate your time so much. I appreciate you sharing a little bit of a peek behind the curtain and kind of letting us know how things go behind the scenes, and a little bit of backstory how Virtual First Dates happened. Follow Virtual First Dates. The men's profile at Men V1D, the women's profile at Women V1D, and you can email her at virtualfirst@gmail.com. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Be safe, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next.
Thank you so much for interviewing me today.
Not a problem.
All right, bye everyone.